Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
And this is Connecting the Dots from Snarful. Today is Thursday, October 2nd, 2025.
Ready to connect some key stories for you today.
Absolutely. Let's start with our morning snapshot. Here in Sacramento, looks like we've got chance showers today.
Oh, a bit damp then.
Yeah, just a bit. High of 71 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty mild, really. Nice fall weather kicking in.
Sounds good. All right, looking at the markets, yesterday the Dow Jones closed slightly up, just a little bit, 0.13%, finishing at 46,519.28, continuing that sort of slow climb.
Okay, but the S&P 500 dipped a little.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. It closed down 0.18%, landing at 6,719.16. So a little bit of divergence there.
Interesting. And Bitcoin, still going strong.
Oh, yeah. It's still climbing. It was up another 0.65%, closing at a pretty staggering 119,396.66.
Wow. It just keeps going, doesn't it? That steady pressure in digital assets.
It really does. You know, it raises questions about where capital's flowing, doesn't it? This interest in assets outside the traditional systems.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, before we jump into today's tech news from our Morning Star report,
right,
we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Pins and Aces.
Great stuff they have.
Totally. They're the premium golf apparel and accessories store. So if you need like a new head cover, maybe some cool apparel for the course,
they've got you covered.
Exactly. And because you listen to us, you get a pretty sweet deal. Use the promo code SNARFUL. That's SNARFUL at checkout.
And you get
21% off your entire purchase. Pretty great, right?
That's a solid discount.
Just head over to pinsandaces.com.
Well, let's spell that out. PINSANDACES.com.
Perfect. Okay, so let's unpack today's stories. We've got three big ones. First, a huge cyber attack hitting Japan's beer supply.
Yes, really.
Yeah, that was quite something.
And then two related but kind of conflicting legal rulings out of Florida about books in school libraries and, well, free speech.
A lot going on there, legally.
For sure. Let's start with it. The beer. Asahi Group Holdings in Japan. What happened? Well, it's a major cyber attack. We're talking about the beverage giant, Asahi, and it's basically caused a full-scale operational catastrophe for them.
Catastrophe is the right word. Production and operations have just stopped, halted at nearly all of their, 30 domestic factories since September 29th?
Yeah, exactly. It's not just, an email server down. They've stopped making things. Asahi Super Dry, Nika Whiskey.
Nika Whiskey. Oh, no.
I know, right? And the impact is, well, it's immediate. Asahi has almost 40% of the Japanese beer market share.
40%? That's huge.
It is. And because of this shutdown, reports are suggesting Japan is literally days away from running out of Asahi Super Dry stock.
Days. Wow. So we're talking potential empty shelves. That's moved way beyond inconvenience.
Absolutely. It's a proper supply chain crisis unfolding right now. We know order processing is down, shipping's affected, even their call centers.
So technically speaking, when an attack causes this much physical disruption, stopping factories, what are we likely looking at? Ransomware.
It points very strongly towards file encrypting ransomware, yes. But the key thing here, the really critical insight for businesses listening, is the failure of what we call IT/OT segmentation.
Okay, break that down. IT is information technology networks, email, the usual office stuff. What's OT?
Right. OT is operational technology. That's the hardware and software that monitors and controls physical processes. Think factory floor machinery, bottling lines, packaging systems, the things that actually do the making and moving.
Got it. The physical side.
Exactly. And in modern manufacturing, these OT systems are often connected to the main IT network for efficiency. But that's the vulnerability.
So if ransomware gets into the regular company network,
it can potentially jump across to the OT side, and then it doesn't just lock up your spreadsheets, it shuts down the actual assembly line. It stops the physical production.
So the link between the office network and the factory floor becomes the weak point.
Precisely. Your factory becomes just as vulnerable as your email. And we've seen this before, haven't we? In retail, with logistics. Remember the JLR issues?
Yeah, the Jaguar Land Rover disruption, same kind of thing.
Exactly. This Asahi attack is just the latest very, very expensive example. It shows that the cost of weak cyber defenses isn't theoretical. It's measured in, lost production, empty shelves, huge financial hits.
So the big takeaway is Keep your IT and your OT systems strictly separate, like ruthlessly separate.
That's the lesson. Otherwise, one bad email click could theoretically trigger a national beer shortage.
Or whiskey. Let's not forget the Nicka whiskey. Ouch.
A harsh reality of the modern threat landscape.
Okay, that really drives home the physical impact of digital security failures. Let's shift gears now. We're moving from securing physical supply chains to securing information, or maybe restricting it. Let's talk about these Florida legal rulings.
Right. Two really interesting and potentially conflicting developments happening in Florida courts regarding school libraries and book removals.
Okay, let's start with the one in Escambia County. There was a lawsuit over the removal of a specific book, and Tango makes three. It's about two male penguins raising a chick.
A well-known children's book, yeah.
And the judge, Alan Windsor, ruled against the people suing the school district. Why? What was the reasoning?
Well, the judge focused very specifically on the nature of the space, the school library itself. His ruling argued that a school library is not considered a public forum for expressing opinions, legally speaking.
Okay, not a public forum, so like a park bench might be, but a school library isn't.
Essentially, yes. And because it's not a public forum, the judge concluded that the school district curating its collection, including removing that specific book, didn't violate the First Amendment rights of the author or students within that context.
Huh. So it wasn't really about the book's content, the same-sex parents theme, but about the definition of the library space.
Exactly. It's a technical, quite narrow legal argument. It basically says the school district has significant discretion over the materials it selects for its educational mission within its own facilities.
Right. And the judge also noted, pragmatically, that the student could still buy the book or get it from a public library elsewhere.
He did mention that, yeah. It reinforces the idea that the ruling was about access within the school library, not access generally.
Okay, so that gives school districts a specific legal defense for targeted removals based on defining the library as a non-public forum. But there's another ruling.
Yes, and this is where it gets complicated because a different federal judge in Florida, Judge Carlos Mendoza, recently ruled on a broader state law.
This is the HB 1069 law, right? The one used to remove lots of books.
That's the one. It had a provision targeting books describing sexual conduct, which led to, thousands of books being pulled from shelves across the state. We're talking modern classics, too.
And what did Judge Mendoza say about that law?
He found that specific provision of HB 1069 to be unconstitutional. His reasoning directly challenged the common offense used by the state, the government speech argument.
The idea that the school is speaking for the government, so it can pick and choose its message.
Exactly. Judge Mendoza basically said you can't just slap the label, government speech, on book removals to justify stifling viewpoints you don't like. He called it out as viewpoint discrimination.
Wow, that's a pretty direct critique. Slapping the label only serves to stifle disfavored opinions. Powerful stuff.
It is. And based on this ruling, an advocacy group, Fire the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, sent letters urging school districts to stop enforcing that part of the law immediately.
Because it led to removing books like The Handmaid's Tale and The Color Purple.
Right. Books that have been part of curriculums and library collections for decades.
Okay, so let's try and connect these dots. We have one ruling in Escambia saying a school library isn't a public forum, giving districts leeway for specific removals.
Correct. A very context-specific ruling based on the definition of the space.
But then we have another broader ruling saying that using a vague state law like HB 1069 for mass removals is unconstitutional viewpoint discrimination, even if you call it government speech.
Exactly. So the legal battle is far from over. It shows this intense conflict over how content is curated, who decides, and what the First Amendment actually protects within the school environment.
It really depends on the specific legal framework being applied. Are they looking narrowly at the space or broadly at the state law and its intent?
Just fascinating, and obviously a huge issue for educators, parents, and, anyone interested in free speech.
Absolutely. It's really about defining the boundaries of information access in public education.
Definitely want to keep watching. Okay, before we wrap things up with a quick recap.
One more sponsor.
You got it. We also want to thank Skony.
Yes, Skony golf shoes.
That's right. Skony, the premium golf shoe store. If you're a golfer out there looking for, that perfect blend of comfort, style, performance on the course.
You should check them out.
Definitely. And again, we've got a deal for you. Use that same promo code SNARFUL, SNARFUL at checkout.
And for Skony, that gets you
15% off your entire purchase.
Nice.
Just visit skony.com. That's SKONI.com skoni.com, skoni.com. Got it.
Okay, so let's quickly bring those stories together from today.
All right. First up, we had the Asahi Cyberattack, a really stark reminder of cyber risk, showing how a failure to separate IT and OT systems,
The office network and the factory controls.
exactly, led to a massive production halt threatening Japan's supply of, well, beer and whiskey. It highlights the very real, very immediate physical costs of weak digital defenses.
Huge cost. Then we shifted to the legal battles in Florida over school library books. First, that is Cambria County ruling.
Right, the one defining the school library as a non-public forum. That provided a legal shield for the district in removing polls. And Tango makes 3 in that specific instance, focused on the place.
But then the counterpoint, the ruling against the broader state law, HB 1069.
Yeah, Judge Mendoza striking down that provision used for mass book removals, calling out the government speech defense as a way to mask unconstitutional viewpoint discrimination, focused on the law's effect.
So the big takeaway seems to be, whether you're talking about cybersecurity or constitutional law, defining and defending boundaries, technical segmentation, legal definitions of spaces and rights is absolutely critical right now. That's where the conflicts are happening.
Well put. And thinking about those 2 rulings together, the narrow one and the broad one, it really makes you wonder, where is that line between the government's right to curate information for education and the individual's right to access diverse viewpoints without discrimination?
That's definitely the question lingering, isn't it? Something to keep thinking about.
For sure.
Well, that's our look at connecting the dots for today. We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
Until next time.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.